Well, they are living on Fantasy Island. What are we talking about here? Let's take a look at the generic congressional ballot. Democrats versus Republicans. We have 3 polls out within the last few weeks. What do they all show? They all show the Democrats up by 2 points in the CNBC poll. The Fox News poll that was out on Friday, look at that. Democrats up by 7. The New York Times poll that was out this Friday as well, Democrats by 3. And keep in mind, the House GOP won the popular vote back in 2024 by a little less than 3 percentage points. So when you see 3, 7, 2, averaging 4, that is a tremendous shift. That is a shift of 7 points from the November 2024 elections away from the GOP to the House Democrats. Donald Trump dragging down the House Republicans.
Where are we seeing this shift in a most pronounced way?
Where are we seeing it? We've spoken about it, Mr. Berman. We're talking about independents. This is how you know that Trump is bringing down the House GOP. Look at Trump's net favorable rating. In October of 2024, according to the New York Times, it was minus 9 points. Look at where it is now, minus 30 points among independents. That's horrific. That's historically awful. Take a look at the generic ballot. In October of 2024, the Democrats were ahead, but only by 3, well within the margin of error. Look at where they are now, up 17 points. There is no way on God's green earth that the Republicans can hold on to the House of Representatives if they lose independence by 17 percentage points. My goodness gracious. This is what dreams are made of if you're House Democrats, and it's all being driven, or at least in large part being driven, by Donald Trump's rapid drop with independence.
What does history tell us about how a party does heading into a midterm with the type of lead that Democrats have right now?
Yeah, okay, so I went back through history, right? And I looked at the opposition minority party. That, of course, is the Democrats right now. They're a minority in the House to the opposition of the party in the White House, Donald Trump, a Republican. The average House seats won by the opposition minority party, 234 when leading the generic ballot this early by at least 4 percentage points. That happened in 2006 and 2018. 2 huge Democratic years. Democrats love this number. Of course, we still have months to go. We'll see if history repeats itself.
We do, but this is an answer to the question is, why does it matter what these numbers show right now 100 days into the president's term? Well, there's some history that shows it might matter.
It's exactly right. Oftentimes the generic ballot actually is quite predictive at this point.
So what you guys need to understand is there was zero talk about in the midterms the Democrats having the ability to take the Senate back because they have a rough map to take the Senate back. But where we are now, it is absolutely on the table for the Democrats to win the Senate back simply because of a massive, massive backlash against the regime. Again, this is something nobody could have foreseen, that they would collapse this bad, the Republicans would, that Democrats could win the Senate in a year when the map is biased against them colossally. But that's where we are right now. Independents are going gonzo, dog. They are out of there. And as I've said to you guys, in the first term, there were some things you could point to. Oh, Trump did the First Step Act. That was good. Oh, Trump pardoned Alice Johnson. That was good. Oh, look, he banned bump stocks after a mass shooting. That was good. There were these little things you could point to where it was like, okay, he's bad. But hey, we got this one thing that we could fucking hang our hat on and say, okay, at least the sky's not completely and utterly falling. At least he's not the worst president in history, right? In fact, I argued George W. Bush, compared to Trump's first term, Bush was worse. George W. Bush was worse than Trump's first term. Now, I would already say we're 100 days in, I'd already say Trump's second term is worse than George W. Bush. And everybody seems to agree. Certainly the independents seem to agree. So, here's another thing. Americans were asked, what's Trump's biggest failure? What's his biggest mistake since he came into office this time? And the answer is pretty straightforward. As you can see here, this is the word bubble thing. Tariffs were by far and away the biggest mistake. Now, I have to say, I was a little surprised by this because when you're looking at, I think all the stuff with the kidnappings and the human traffickings, they are not deportations. The total destruction of due process and habeas corpus, rounding people up, shipping the war on free speech where you can't even criticize Israel or you get deported or locked up indefinitely, right? To me, I look at that and I go, oh, this is an assault on the rule of law, checks and balances. It's an assault on the Magna Carta, which is from 1215. Trump's trying to roll the clock back to the year 1200. So in my mind, I think of that, and I think of the constant warmongering and threatening with foreign countries, bombing Yemen relentlessly, bombing Somalia, threatening war with Iran, threatening war with Mexico, saying I'm going to take Canada and make it the 51st state, saying we're going to take Panama. To me, those things probably supersede it, but I figured out why tariffs are the number one thing. And look, it's very straightforward. People are at the end of the day, what matters directly most to people in this country? How am I doing? How am I doing? What's my wallet look like? What's my bank account like? What's my pocketbook like? And the tariffs, people are already seeing the impacts of the tariffs. We just got news. The economy contracted 0.3% as inflation went up. So in other words, stagflation is already here. That's an economic nightmare. That's the worst of all worlds. That's something where even the Federal Reserve goes, what do we do in reaction to this? Right? And so given that it's directly impacting people's money, that's why tariffs are number one. I told you I've already witnessed the impact of the tariffs. I bought a new pair of business shoes. It was $27. And then a couple days later, I was like, oh, I like these. Let me get a few more pairs of these. And it went from 27 to 40 in 2 days. Okay. Now, I can handle that, but 60% of the country is living paycheck to paycheck. Right? This is fucking horrible. People are not going to be able to make ends meet. And so number one issue is tariffs. And by the way, it is about to get way worse too. The idea like, oh, we hit the bottom and now the economy is going to grow from here. Oh, it takes a while, but it'll change. Wrong. No, it won't. It's only going to get worse. There is no logic to what they're doing. There is no logic. The idea it's going to revive American manufacturing, totally bogus. The opposite is happening. Factories are shutting down now as a direct result of this. So he doesn't know what he's doing. He's massively incompetent, and he's tanking everything. So by the way, other words that are relatively large on the screen here in terms of big mistakes Trump made. Tariffs, number one. Musk looks like number two, which makes sense because Doge is destroying the social safety net and screwing people over. You already, half the Social Security offices being closed is a fucking nightmare. They're trying to make Social Security collapse. Tariff is another one. Well, tariffs and tariffs is the same shit. Some people spelled tariffs wrong. That was another big one. War, I see, is another big one. Elon is up there too, relatively big. Somebody's office is pretty big. That's bizarre. Mistake is pretty big. That's also bizarre. But anyway, tariffs are just an albatross around homie's neck, and I don't know how he's going to get out of it. So here he is. Now, understand, it has been for 2 or 3 weeks now. Every poll that we've seen has been just Dunskies. Just, oh my God, you are literally historically low. In the history of modern polling, he's at the dead bottom. So everybody knows that. Everybody's aware of that. Everybody's talking about that. So what does Trump do? He does a 100-day rally because, of course, he does. This is his safe space. And listen to what he says. This is unbelievable.
This is all done in 100 days. But when you watch the fake news, you see fake polls. Again, they poll more Democrats than Republicans. Democrats aren't going to say, I'm going to vote for Trump. And we still got 45, 44%. But on the legitimate polls, I think we're in the 60s. I think we're in the 60s or 70s or something.
This is a lie. He knows it's a lie. And this is actually really, really dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is when you have a president who's gone full right-wing postmodernist at a time when the economy is collapsing, how do we know he's not going to pretend like, actually, the economy's doing great. Actually, it's amazing. I don't know what everybody's talking about. Empty shelves. We want the empty shelves. That's totally fine. What's the problem? I don't understand. So do you understand why this is so terrifying? Any other president, when he's being hit with, sir, the economy contracted by 0.3%. Sir, unemployment is going up. Sir, inflation is going up. Any other president that hears that, they're like, I'm on it. Now, maybe we might not agree with how they try to solve that, but they're on it. And they genuinely have a team of experts that's like, we're gonna figure this out and we're gonna do something. He was told that about the economic numbers, and Trump immediately goes out and says, what people don't understand is this is a hangover from the Biden administration. This is all Biden's fault. This is not when the tariffs kick in, everything will be wonderful, everything will be glorious. And so the fact that he's so disconnected from the truth and he's a pathological liar means when he's confronted with real world problems that need real world solutions, he goes, we don't have to do anything. We just stay the course. He's saying he's in the 60s or 70 percentile range at a time when he's historically the lowest in polling history at this point in his time in office. Now, at the same time, here we go. He flagrantly violated a 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, 9-0, that says you have to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Guess what? He's been told multiple times by the media. The media literally quoted to him the exact part that says you have to facilitate his return. And every time he says the same thing, I got to talk to my lawyers. My lawyers say something different. I leave it up to my lawyers. I have nothing to do with it. And then now that he gets to run free in a rally, what does he say?
And also, we cannot allow a handful of communist radical left judges to obstruct the enforcement of our laws and assume the duties that belong so